Our next panel is coming to you from across the pond. So Daniel Cohen is in New Jersey, not across the pond, across the border of New York, which is where I am right now. And Francis Tiafoe is in Parma, Italy, getting ready for his next big tournament. So I think they'll both be joining this panel in the video shortly. So welcome, Daniel, and welcome, Francis, who I don't see yet, but should be on momentarily. So hey, Francis, and hey, Daniel. Quick overview. So pleasure to welcome you both. I think this is a natural progression in the conversations of our panels around what's next in investing in entrepreneurship and betting and other areas. How do we overcome adversity during a time when now more than ever, this is something that everyone to one degree or another is experiencing. And now it's a conversation about what does it look like to be an athlete live. Francis is joining us live from Parma, ATP Tour star, one of the top ranked US players in the world. And Daniel Cohen, who needs no introduction since I've known him for so long, I can have that fun. Runs Octagon's media rights consulting division. Francis is arguably the most electrifying young tennis player in the world. So Francis, you got a lot to live up to with that as an intro. But your story is equally as captivating through HBO Real Sports, American Dream. So I highly suggest for anyone who has not watched that on HBO, it's a tremendous view and tremendous watch. Content is still king, and Francis, your story is tremendous. And Dan, what's your portfolio now? About $4 billion?
4.4 last month.
Okay, 4.4. So Francis, you and I will have to figure out what our cut is on that. That extra 400 million he just added will be maybe that'll be our cut. And Dan advises on media rights and athletes and teams and leagues. And there are a few better. So with that, I will get out of the way and let you guys take it away. And I'll see you in about 25 minutes. So Daniel and Francis, I've had that effect on people where they leave while I'm talking. Francis is in Parma, so I'm going to assume it's based upon his Wi-Fi, but you don't know. So I'm going to maybe that you give a monologue for the next 25 minutes.
That is not at all what people want to hear from me. There we go. Francis is back. Jeff, thanks so much for that introduction. Francis, man, you're a champ. You're coming in live from Parma on the ATP Tour after kicking some butt yesterday. And man, let's be real. No one's tuning in to listen to me speak. We got a lot to cover, so let's dive into it. We're gonna cover big topics, right? We got 25 minutes or so, 21 minutes. We got to talk big things like social injustice, your activism. We got to talk your brand relationships. We got to talk social content. We've got to talk where the heck is tennis going next. And maybe you'll teach us a couple things about how the hell you hit a ball so hard with topspin like that at the end of this. So Francis Tiafoe, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thanks so much. Let's dive right into it. All right.
Perfect.
First one up for you, man. You're winning yesterday. Got a big match tomorrow. Been ranked 29th in the world. Talk to us a little bit about how a high-performing athlete like yourself can really build a brand. Like, how do you have time to think about your brand and your brand partners when you're working out every day and you're on the court every day? Walk us through a little bit how you balance that off the court life and that business side of you with the professional sports side.
Right. I mean, I think the biggest thing, right, is obviously picking an agency that you trust, right? You know, guys are going to be working for you endlessly, no matter how you're doing. You know, obviously with got working with someone like me, but a story like mine, obviously there's a lot to be done. But I mean, guys who also think outside the box, I think that helps your brand a lot. So I think that's the biggest thing when you really make your final choice. But I think you make your own luck, and you know, the better you do, that easier it makes your agent's job to obviously build your brand. But kind of goes hand in hand. So I would kind of say, one, you know, agents who are ready to work for you, and that are genuine people, because you know that's essentially a big relationship than just the agent client. You know, you want us to become family, and then also that they have the same vision as you do. They paint the picture. It's identical.
Let's stay on the topic of brands for a second. There's a lot of CMOs that are tuning in and watching this conversation right now. There's a lot of people at brands. And let's be real, brands have their own prerogative, right? Brands want to push a certain message. How do you balance being authentic to yourself, but also delivering on behalf of a brand?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Obviously, I think people can see if you're being real or not, right? So, I think you can't go wrong being yourself, right? But at the end of the day, you're a person first and an athlete second. So I think, however, whatever brand you're with is, how you are as an individual will go a long way. And obviously, what you do day to day as an athlete obviously drives that. But making sure you're doing all the little details. For example, with tag, make sure after you have a big win and you're still pumped up and you're all hyped up that you put the watch on for the interview and that you're wearing your fresh Nike fits. Even though for a fresh pair of Yeezys, you're still wearing your Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. You're at home and with Nesquik, that I'm with, you pull that out once in a time. Kind of really making sure you're doing the right things with your brands and promoting them as much as you can, not only when they tell you to do it at any random time. So, but again, you don't have to be, obsessive with it, but, the love they give you, make sure it's reciprocated.
I like that. The love they give you. It's a two-way relationship.
Right.
Let's jump over to my world where I'm a little bit more comfortable. Let's talk media. Let's talk content a little bit. My team works on this across the board, leagues, teams, athletes, federations. Some of the data that we've seen coming out of COVID is athlete-driven content is on fire, right? Engagement on social platforms with athletes is up over 600%. Talk to me a little bit about the content that you're putting out there in terms of your social media presence and where you see that content play. Are you with me?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep moving around because the Wi-Fi keeps coming in and out. But
no worries. Here's what I was saying. I was saying athlete-driven content's on fire. Our group looks at it. We track engagement, 600% increase of just fans engaging with athletes online since COVID started back in March here in the US. Where does that fit into your life?
Right.
Like, how do you, knowing that athlete-driven content for networks, look at what ESPN's doing now and Fox and NBC, how do you think about content? Stick with social media. How does social media play a big role in your life when you think about your content initiatives?
Social media has been everything for a while now, obviously, right? But with COVID, you start to realize social media literally is everything. It's, the fact that it's still driving everything. Everyone's so in tune, for example, the NBA Finals just because of social media. I'm in Parma and I can't really tune in, but I'm seeing on Bleacher.
You want LeBron and Lakers, or you rooting for Jimmy Buckets?
Look, I knew it was gonna be tough for Miami. I love me some Jimmy Buckets, but Bron and obviously the late Kobe and everything, I would love to see Bron get it done. And which I think will happen tomorrow. But yeah, I'm a big LeBron fan.
So getting back to the content piece, the HBO special on you was just awesome, right? Your story is incredible. Your family's story is incredible. Do you see that being an important part of you both on and off the court moving forward, like participating in more content initiatives or
right? I think content's where it's going. People, you see Jimmy Buckets and these guys doing YouTube channels. I think these things are big. The fans can really get close to you and really get to know you, not for hooping, not for playing tennis or whatever your craft is, right? Like people really know because how do these fans really get close to you? Really know what Jimmy Buckets or Francis Tiafoe is doing at 8 p.m. when he's not having a tennis racket or a basketball in his hand. Like what does that look like? So I think that's great. And obviously, if you can make time, obviously you guys are busy. You make time for that. I think it's huge for your brand, and I think obviously other brands tap into that. But I think that only helps you grow in the division. I think that's where the world's going.
let's talk about probably the most important topic right now, current events. If it's not COVID, we're talking racial injustice, right? You have played a huge role, an outspoken activist. You wore the mask at the Open, right? Black Lives Matter. Talk a little bit about the movement, what it means to you, how you want to work with brands, how you want to work with content producers in supporting Black Lives Matter and racial injustice issues.
Right. I mean, I just want to do my part, right? And want to bring awareness out. And I want, guys, also people of color, or people just to understand this is a real life thing, right? I mean, with everything that's been going on, from Georgia, Breonna Taylor and so on and so forth. It's been sad, it's been sickening. And, I just want to know I'm doing my part. Right? And, me and my girlfriend made an unbelievable video, which got a lot of headlines, which I was so happy about, that it went so far and touched so many people. Glad how many people want to be a part of it. But again, I mean, it's it's something that's an ongoing thing. In DC, I'm gave money to these foundations in the city, trying to make sure these guys are able to still go with everything going on at the highest level. Trying to get relationships with these kids. I think being a representative to these kids is huge. I mean, just having someone that they can relate to, having someone that was in their shoes at one point in their life, that they can bounce ideas off and actually know that being successful, and doesn't have to be playing professional tennis.
Mm-hmm.
Being successful in life is doable. It's not about where we're at, where we're going. And so that's kind of been my slogan, since I was young. And so I'm just happy to just be that guy. Hopefully, I can keep leading by example.
I love it, man. You're doing awesome stuff. Talk to the brand folks in the audience right now who are asking themselves and working on this every day. How do I get involved from a corporation, from a brand perspective? How do I get involved in helping support, raising awareness, educating, making change, and getting us further along, like you said, not where we are today, but where we want to go? What advice would you have for those brand managers listening in?
Well, obviously being educated, but just asking the right questions, being on the culture. You don't understand what that means. But I think asking the right questions is huge, and being around it, and doing your part. Whether it's, whether it's even just giving back to certain communities, whether it's being in the forefront of different kind of issues. I think personally, helping communities, helping Black-owned businesses, helping young kids aspire to do great things. I think that's also huge. And obviously, when we talk about and being a part of that cause, as far as police brutality, because that's a real life thing. What does that look like? Obviously, that's been taking a ton of people, from guys in the NBA, NFL. I mean, I think all athletes. I think that's an ongoing thing. I think is bigger than us. But these are kind of things that I think will help move the culture forward.
You're doing awesome work there, Francis. Keep it up. Let's switch. We only got about 10 minutes left. I want to talk tennis with you, right? You're one of the hottest young stars on the circuit. You're killing it. How much has the game changed? You haven't been playing it for too long professionally compared to some other folks, right? But from your perspective, you got a next gen perspective. Where was tennis when you first started, and where's it going?
Yeah, it's funny because obviously I've been on tour for a little bit now. People actually, because I've been on tour for a little bit, people start to forget that I'm only 22. But it's crazy. I mean, I think the game's changing as far as you have to be 26, 27 to start hitting your prime, and all that, because obviously now there's a gap in tennis where Roger, Rafa, and Novak, they're getting about damn near the end. Okay, now there's some new guys. Dominic Thiem playing great, Zverev and all these kind of guys. But young guys are believing that they can win early. Young guys are hitting the ball so strong, moving so well, mentally. they can stay locked in for hours on end. So the game getting pretty interesting. I mean, and then your physiques. I mean, people are houses at 19, 20 years old. So you're looking like a grown ass man at 19, 20. Don't even have a beard yet, but it's you still look the part. So it's pretty good, and it's pretty fun to see. Pretty fun to be a part of. I think these next 10 years is going to be some great tennis. I think it's going to be open. I don't think there's going to be one dominant player or 3 or 4 players like there were with Roger Rafa, Novak, and Murray. I think there's going to be a lot of guys who can take the cake at the end of the week, and I think that's even better for the sport because you just don't know who's going to win. So yeah.
What do you want to see change in tennis? And I'm not asking you this question. Maybe it was perfect timing when I asked the provocative question and you freeze. Are you back? You're back with me. Okay. Francis, what do you want to see change in tennis? Obviously, Djokovic, he's got his ideas. Federer's got his. They're doing things. If you had the power to change a couple things or one thing in tennis, what do you think that would be?
I'm actually a fan of bringing the ATP and WTA together. I think that would help. I think combined events want to make more money, and I'm for equal prize money. They put just many hours. I don't really care that we play 3 out of 5 and they play 2 out of 3. That doesn't really matter to me. It's just that they work hard and put as many hours. And I mean, you look at the top 10 highest paid women athletes play tennis. I think that's great. I think that helps. Enormously. Help more people to play the game of tennis. I love that. So, but I think if we join as one, I think we both can eat. I think everyone's going to eat well. I would, as far as fans' sake, more engagement, get a younger crowd, people being able to move around, talk. Obviously, that you lose that posh part of it, and you lose hearing the ball, so to speak, and feeling the rhythms. But I think you're not going to go to that
crowd.
Say again.
You're all for the rowdy crowd. You want the open. You want to get fired up.
Right. I love that open crowd when I played Roger when I was 19. I was 2017. That was great. The atmosphere is like that. Where it's just absolutely like bonkers. You're not gonna go to an NBA game and not say a word. You're not gonna go to the NFL game and just and be like, wait, hold on. It's a big play. Like we need to be quiet. Like he's not gonna do that. And I think that attracts crowds. I think the biggest thing is how do we make tennis more accessible to guys that don't have it. Racket strings, shoes, everything. At times it's a timely cost, but when basketball, football, all you need is a basketball and a hoop, football and some grass.
Good point.
You can get it going. So I think those are the biggest things as far as getting things done. But yeah.
COVID. I'm sure. I'm personally curious. I know the answer to this. How the heck are you getting around the world? You're playing everywhere. How has COVID impacted you from an on the court perspective? And then talk a little bit about, if you can, some of that downtime that it had, right? No one was traveling. What were you doing with that time? So first question, how has COVID impacted you personally and professionally on the court?
COVID actually helped me because I was actually, started the year, I was defending a quarterfinal in Australia, lost to Medvedev in the first round, had a big ranking drop, I was super pissed off, being that classic, feeling sorry for yourself, blah, blah, blah. So then, just hired my new coach, Wayne. So then we were able to build a great relationship in the 4 or 5 months that we were off. I was working extremely hard, had a great run in New York, kind of actually helped me tweak some things in my game, tweak some things mentally, came back and been pretty in a good place so far. But, as far as the downtime, it's kind of just like reflect, like France TFO, what does that mean post COVID or post whenever they let you play tennis again? What are you trying to do? How are you trying to approach it? And, a lot of things you get handled. It's not like in the real world where you can kind of I'll handle it later. Well, you got all the time in the world now. Like there's nowhere to really hide. So I think that was great. I mean, because I'm the kind of guy who lets things go and let's handle things last minute. But as far as everything else, I mean, it's a crazy time. Look, I mean, it's what you make it. Everyone's trying to do the best of what they know to how to make events go, because we need sports. I mean, we just need it. It's point blank simple. Like, I mean, people need it. These cities need it. These corporations, everything. I mean, people putting so much money into these things, and to have them not go hurts a lot of corporations. Have a lot of people go under.
A lot of people talk about sports as a religion, right? Sports is another community.
It's I mean, and so it helped me in another sense. It didn't, because then after a while I lost purpose. Like, now it's like, all right, cool. Like, you're like, whoa, like, what France Diego, what does that mean now? Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still practicing, I'm still out there, but like, no one's screaming my name, no one's asking for an autograph in 5 months. Feel pretty regular right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, feel pretty regular. So, yeah, I mean, I felt like
that's really interesting how you use that time though to your benefit to really up your game and get yourself physically, mentally to another level. We're gonna move on.
No, 100%. I mean,
no, go ahead, finish.
Yeah, 100%. I was just gonna say, like, why not?
Yeah. All right, we got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You were not prepared with this next round. We're gonna rapid fire on you, Francis. We're gonna come at you with a bunch of questions. First thing that comes to your head. We want everyone in the audience to really get to know you on a personal level here. So here we go. First question. Last movie watched on Netflix?
Beyond.
Oh, all right. What'd you think?
Pretty good. Pretty good, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Spotify. Talk to me. Spotify list. Last song you just played. What's the song that you play? Last song played, song that you play right before you go on the court.
Last song I played was probably that new Drake, Laugh Now, Cry Later, and I played a Nipsey Hussle before I go on, Victory Lap.
Who wins the Super Bowl this year?
I'm going Lamar Jackson.
Ravens fan. All right, you're from. I get it. You're from the area.
I'm actually watching football team fan, but now, but I love Mahomes obviously, but I want to see a fellow DMV get it done.
Jackson's electric. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Last vacation spot. Where'd you go?
Bahamas. Unreal.
It's fun. Yeah? You had fun?
Unreal.
Soul Cycle or Peloton?
Peloton's pretty good.
All right. Tell me if you could go back and play anyone on the court. Athlete, celebrity, president, leader, anybody. Who would you want to play and why?
Probably Obama. I love that come up what he did. Meeting him one time and him knowing who I was.
And
crazy.
I just want to double check. That's the tennis court, not the basketball court.
Exactly. Yeah, the tennis court. Teach him a little something, a little thing or two. He can hoop. He got a little lefty shoot. You know what I'm saying? He got a little lefty shot. Well, Isaiah Thomas up in there. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. All right, man. Hey, listen, to wrap it up, you got a quarterfinal match tomorrow morning at 9:30 in the morning. Why the hell are you talking to me? Go get them. Good luck tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're rooting for you. And keep it all awesome on the court, off the court. You rock.
Appreciate it, buddy.
I mean, there are a few more fun conversations between the Wi-Fi of the Italian countryside and Daniel with his beautiful background. Thank you guys, truly. Tremendous dialogue. Francis, I wish you all the best of luck in the tournament and in the years ahead. I want to be able to say I had a conversation with him when he was still rising, and now look at him winning Grand Slams. So keep doing what you're doing, and I will be a fan from not too far away.
Appreciate it, brother.
So thank you both, truly.
You guys
Switching
take care.
gears, we have